The aftermath. The immediate aftermath was surreal. Within hours of Sarah's termination, my LinkedIn was blowing up with connection requests and messages from people across the tech industry. Word had gotten out about what happened. Apparently, several people had forwarded my email to contacts at other companies, and the story was spreading through tech circles like wildfire. Some people thought I was brilliant. Others thought I was ruthless. Few thought I'd gone too far. But everyone agreed on one thing. Sarah had gotten exactly what she deserved. The technical cleanup took about 6 months. I had to essentially rebuild the entire database architecture from scratch, this time with a design that actually worked. It was exhausting but also incredibly satisfying. Every line of code, every architectural decision was a statement. This is what competent engineering looks like. The client whose data had been threatened by Sarah's failed project ended up signing the largest contract in our company's history, specifically because they were impressed by how we'd handled the crisis. They said they'd never seen a company take such decisive action to protect client interests. As for me, the interim director position became permanent about 4 months later. I got the job I'd originally been promised, plus a 30% salary increase, plus equity options, plus the kind of respect that can't be stolen or faked. But the best part wasn't the professional vindication. It was watching karma continue to work its magic on Sarah. Through various industry connections, I kept hearing updates about her attempts to find new employment. Turns out, when your termination becomes a cautionary tale that gets shared across the entire tech industry, finding new opportunities becomes challenging. She tried to rebrand herself, claiming she'd been the victim of a toxic workplace and professional jealousy. But the evidence I'd compiled was too comprehensive, too well documented. Every potential employer who did their due diligence would eventually discover the truth. About 8 months after her termination, I heard she'd taken a position at a small startup. A significant step down from her previous role and probably a 50% pay cut. Even then, I heard through the grapevine that she was struggling, that her colleagues were wary of her, that she was essentially starting over at the bottom of her career. Sometimes I wonder if I went too far. If publicly destroying someone's professional reputation was the right response to what she'd done to me. But then I remember that night, watching her steal my presentation and undermine my credibility to the executive team. I remember the months of gaslighting, the way she smiled while stabbing me in the back. Sarah didn't just steal a job from me. She tried to steal my identity as an engineer, my reputation, my future. She gambled that I would just accept the betrayal and move on. She gambled wrong. The funny thing is, I'm actually a better leader now because of what she put me through. I understand office politics in a way I never did before. I can spot manipulation and deception from a mile away. I've become incredibly protective of my team members, making sure that their work gets proper attribution and that their contributions are recognized. I also implemented new policies around intellectual property and collaboration. We now have clear documentation requirements for strategic initiatives, mandatory code reviews for architectural decisions, and transparent processes for promotion and recognition. I never want anyone else to go through what I experienced. But perhaps most importantly, I learned that sometimes the best revenge isn't just getting even. It's getting better. I didn't just take Sarah down. I took her place and exceeded everything she ever could have accomplished in that role. 3 years later, our engineering team has tripled in size. We've launched 5 major product initiatives. We've been recognized as one of the top tech employers in our city. And I've been promoted again, this time to VP of Engineering. Sarah's LinkedIn profile shows she's still at that same startup, still in the same junior role she took after leaving our company. Sometimes the universe has a sense of justice after all. Looking back, I realize this story isn't just about revenge. It's about what happens when someone underestimates the person they're trying to destroy. Sarah saw me as a nice, naive engineer who would just accept being betrayed. She had no idea that underneath that nice exterior was someone who understood systems well enough to build the perfect trap. I don't recommend this approach to everyone who faces workplace betrayal. Most situations don't require such an elaborate response. But sometimes, when someone tries to destroy your life, when they steal not just credit but your entire professional identity, Sometimes the only appropriate response is total war. Sarah taught me that the world isn't fair, that nice people don't always finish first, that sometimes you have to fight dirty to protect what's yours. I taught her that if you're going to try to destroy someone, you better make sure you succeed completely. Because if they survive, they might just have the skills and patience to systematically dismantle your entire world. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments.